Sometimes sounds should sound different if you're speaking correctly, but sometimes they sound the same due to mispronunciation problems. Some kind of common standard of pronunciation should be used, but sometimes it's a problem because we don't really know what the general standard is. But we do have some guidelines to help us. So there are certain things we shouldn't do. And when we pronounce two distinct sounds in the same way so that the listener can actually hear the difference, that's great. But if they can't hear the difference and they get confused, for example, the classic ship, sheep, I went to sea on a sheep, and then the sheep sank, probably because he got soaked and his wool became very heavy. That can be very confusing, and that's called a merger. And I'm going to ask people to do some reading, and we're going to just speak about different things as we read, and look out, if we can, for some of these merger problems. Now, there is a piece of reading text, some reading that has all of the different sounds of English which we've used once before, and I'm going to ask people to read it today and then discuss some of those possible merger problems. Now, pronunciation is interesting because there are many reasons for mispronunciation. I'd like you to come and tell me what possible reasons there might be for people mispronouncing words, because there are different reasons and we have to think about that sometimes. Sometimes we have problems actually making the sounds, but sometimes it's not that reason at all. You know, it could be that someone's banging a nail into a wall and it puts us off. It could be a lot of things that cause us to mispronounce our words. Hello, Sarah. Is it Sarah or Sarah?
Sarah.
Sarah. So, how are you?
I'm fine. Hello.
Hi there. And have we spoken before?
It's possible, but I had trouble with my connection, so I didn't follow all course.
Okay, well, let's get started now. Can you help me with that question I asked just now? I asked a question about pronunciation mistakes, mispronunciation, and what reasons can you think of for people mispronouncing words? Can you think of some different reasons for it and tell me about them? So maybe one reason you could give me. Can you give me one reason for people mispronouncing words, Sarah? Oh, you're in twice. What's going on? Two of you, Sarah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Yes, so I said that in my case that was because I don't hear properly the different sound.
Can I just say one word? Here. How do you spell here? H-E-A-R.
H-E-A-R.
H-E-A-R, and you say here, like ear. So we have to be careful because we have two possible sounds. One of them I call ear, like this, and the other one I call chair. So hair is not the same here. So if I say, for example, here is her hair dryer. Let's write it again. Here is her hair dryer. Can you read that, Sarah? In the Verbling chat I'm working. If you can write always in the Verbling chat. No, your mic's muted again. Can you look at the top of the page and unmute your mic?
Yes, but
That's
this
it.
is my connection who stop all the time. Sorry.
Okay.
So, what's your question?
So could you read my text in the Verbaling chat?
Yes, so here is a hair dryer.
Here is her hairdryer, yes. So if we make a mistake with our pronunciation and we don't say here, but we say her or another word, what reasons could there be? How many ways or different reasons can there be? So can you give me one reason why people mispronounce words?
No, I don't know.
Can anybody give me a reason for it? Because I'd like to collect some reasons together. Why do people mispronounce words?
For example, with this kind of words with H, for me it's difficult to pronounce H because in French we don't pronounce H, for example.
Yes, and in English it's either pronounced or not pronounced, and we have to learn the words. So one mistake can be that we haven't learnt the word, and so we need to know the word that we're saying. That could be one problem. Does anyone have any other ideas or any experiences about pronunciation and pronunciation mistakes? Sometimes people just simply don't know how a particular word is pronounced.
Yes.
And then we have to look in a dictionary.
Yeah, and there are rules and we must know about them.
Well, there are some rules, and actually, I can tell that there is a speech robot which can read any text quite well and hardly make any mistakes. So there are rules, but they're too complicated for us to learn. The way the letters join together, making certain patterns, and sometimes whether it's a noun or a verb, very difficult rules sometimes if you think about the rules, so we have to practice and learn as much as possible. Yes, you're right though, there are certain rules. Can you give me one rule? Do you know any rules in particular, or any rules that
Yes,
you can
for
remember?
example, when there is K at the beginning of the word, with KN we must not pronounce K. No, like knife.
No, night. Yes.
Yeah, night.
Knife.
Yes.
Yes, I think that is a good rule. Some rules are hardly rules at all. Can you find any exception to this rule? I can't. I think that it's absolute. So every time we have the KN, we don't pronounce the K.
Or about P, like in pneumonia, right?
Yeah, so that's another pattern which is an absolute rule, I believe, because there aren't any pure English words which have this pattern, and with a pn. So that's true as well.
For example, about C, when not C, about S, when S is among the vowels, it will be pronounced Z, like Z.
Well, let's have a look at some examples and let's see if we can find an exception to this, because I'm not sure whether this one is absolute or whether it has exceptions. So can you give me some? Here it's amongst vowels,
Yes.
but it's house. It could be both. It could be either a s or a z, because it depends whether it's a verb or a noun. If it's a noun, my house. There's a Madness song. Our house in the middle of our street, our house. But house is a z as a verb. So I'm not sure about that rule. Some rules are a bit awkward and difficult and almost not worth using. So other reasons for mispronunciation. I said one that we simply don't know. Can anybody think of another problem with pronunciation? And here, look, here's my list. Can you look at it and tell me what you think? I haven't even written it properly there. That should be the. I learnt the word.
Yeah.
Leo,
Oh, yeah?
I think one reason is people can't get rid of the influence of their native language.
Yeah, that's there's a word for that, isn't there?
Yes.
So some kind of interference from your first language. That's one which I haven't got on my list here. And actually I've suffered from that one as well, because particularly with vowels in Hungarian. And I noticed that everybody suffers a little bit, because if there's a vowel which is quite close, but not so close, but quite close enough, you might fall into a vowel sound you know. Do you have any experience of this one, Jason?
Yes, I have.
Can you give an example of it?
Do you mean the my native language influence with learning English?
Yeah, tell me how it works. What kind of things go wrong for you in English because of your native language interfering with English?
Okay, let me think. I can't find one.
I can give you an example from Hungarian to English. Quite a few examples. In Hungarian, the vowels, or everything makes a sound. Almost every letter makes a sound, even though they have letters which, for me, look like two letters. For example, in English, we don't say ch is one letter, but in Hungarian they approach them, although it's not ch, it's ch. They would say it's one letter, and if you do a crossword, it goes in one box. Anyway, they think that everything should make a separate sound, and they don't work with big combinations. So sometimes if you have words in English or French and other languages, some languages have combinations which go together. Like here, beautiful, beautiful. Well, some Hungarians and some other speakers of other languages will try to pronounce different letters.
Excuse me. Can
Hello,
you
yes,
hear?
who's that?
Hi, everybody. Can you me hear?
Yes, I can hear you. No, can I hear you? Not can you me hear, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I am George.
George, yes, hi there.
Yeah, from Hungarian.
And are you very pretty? You're not from Hungarian, you are Hungarian.
I am new here. This is the first time with you.
Yes, is your name really Sape?
Sape. Sape. Beautiful.
Is that your name?
Beautiful.
Yes,
Sape.
but I know Sape is beautiful, but is it a name?
Yeah, yes.
I don't know anybody called Sape George. I don't know this name.
Very good, George. Yes.
I've heard of some names, but I've never known anybody called Sape. But is it a common name? Is it a usual name, or is it unusual?
Usual name.
Yes. I think the most common name is maybe something like Lajos, Kovács Lajos, or something like this. But John Smith in English. John Smith. Yeah.
John Smith. Yeah. Lajos Kovács. Kovács Lajos.
So, can you...
Very good.
Thank you. Yes. Where do you live?
I am 63 years old. I am retired. works nie. Works not. I works not. I work not.
So you're not working now. Are you retired?
Retired. I am retired. Yes, yes.
And I'm not quite as old as you. I'm younger than you, and I was born in a very historically important year. So I will show you the year I was born in.
I think I am the oldest learning here.
Yes, well, you're older than me because look, this is when I was born. I'm quite old. Look, can you see my picture?
I have no camera.
Ah, but you
Yeah.
should see the screen. 56. I was born. That's my name.
1956.
Yeah, 56.
64, 63, 64.
You're younger than me then. If you were born in 63, you are 63 years old. But when were you born?
I'm in year 2049.
1949.
1949.
Yes, that makes sense. 1949. And I was born in 1956. So you are older than me. Yes. And can you tell me about pronunciation? When you learn English, and does Hungarian interfere with your English learning?
While when I English learn,
when I learn English, or while I am learning English, yes.
Just moment. Just moment.
Just a moment. Just a moment.
Just a moment. I purchased a satellite antenna.
Yes. Can you tell me, George, what problems you have experienced with English pronunciation?
Problems. I kann nicht spielen. Also.
I'm not. Ich kann es nicht verstehen Sie.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Çok Ongol verstehen. Ongol. Okay. I lived in Germany when I was a little boy, but I'm not German. I'm English. There's a difference between English and German.
Difficult.
Okay, so can I ask you to read something now? I'm going to ask you to read my checkup. Ooh, I need to change the top of this. So let me see it. Oh dear. Here we go. Now, can you see on my screen? Please phone Julian. Can you see it?
Mergers, what are they?
No, this one. Please phone Julian. Yellow color. Can you see?
Please phone Julian. Ask him. Too little.
Okay, let me make it bigger for you. Just a moment. I'll try and make it a bit bigger. It's quite big here, but bigger and
better. Also, please phone Julian. Ask him to take these things with him on tour. 6 pound on very fresh juice. Juicy peas. 5 thick slices of blue cheese, and maybe a television for his brother Bob. We also need granddad's small rocking chair and a big toy frog for the kids. he can, but
He can put. Now, the can be unstressed if you like here because it's the can is not the main verb. So you can say can. You can here say
Yes.
can. He can put these. He can put these.
I can or I cannot.
Well, no, I mean can be a main verb like yes I can. But sometimes can is not the main verb, and then it might be quiet, unstressed. Like, for example, Germany. You can drive as fast as you like. You can drive as fast as you like. You can drive as fast as you like. He can put these things. So he can put these items.
He can put these items into mother's red lunch box, and he called
mother's red lunchbox.
mother's red lunch box, and he could meet. He could meet
us, yes,
on Wednesday at the train station.
Very good, Seb. Yes, very good. Well done. Nice work.
Thank you.
So, I see that sometimes we just need to learn some words. Sometimes that's the problem. The problem is we have a strange word, we don't know it, how to say it. So here is a word about hair, and it's a tricky one. And how do we say it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can put these items into mother's red lunch box, and he called meet.
He could meet
us on Wednesday at the train station.
Great. Okay, let me see, because when you read, your pronunciation is better when you read English. That's very interesting. I wonder why. When you were reading, the sound was good, but sometimes when you are speaking, your pronunciation is not as good, not so good, but when you are reading, it was good. Nice. Yeah.
I am happy.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds nice. So, Jaron, can you tell me a particular problem? Do you remember a particular problem that you have because of your native language?
For example, Chinese people, they can't find the difference between the voice, the sound of G and the sound of C when it is in a word. It's like when they say good and could, they will pronounce the same.
Ah, that's interesting. I want to see if that merger has been listed in my pages about mergers. So here is the list of mergers here. I just went to the sound check page, but now I'm looking at my merger list. So G and C. Can you give me any words which might be confused? Good, could, you said?
Yes.
Good and could.
It's like when they say, could you find something for me? They will say, could you find something for me? It's like that.
Yes, I've heard this before. Yes, I have. Are there any other word pairs? Or just good, could? Is it maybe related to the
problem, and yes, and also there is one problem. When they say goodbye, they will pronounce the D word. Put the point at the D. They will say goodbye. It's like this.
Goodbye. Oh yes, goodbye. Yes.
So that's the common problem that Chinese people will normally make some mispronunciation.
So let me take you quickly through the that last word. What did you say? The last word you said, please.
Goodbye.
No, you the miss. You said miss.
Oh,
what?
mispronounced.
You said mispronunciation. Now that is actually not correct. Do you know why?
I don't know.
Because
Could you tell
let
me?
me give you a sentence. How do you a word I'm going to ask you here. I'm just writing it in the chat. I'm making sure I spell it correctly. Is that correct? Can you read it for me?
Read what? I can't see.
In the Verbling chat, I've written something.
Oh, Verbling chat.
Mm-hmm.
Can you write it in Google Chat because Verbling Chat is not available for me.
Okay. I'll copy and paste it into the Google Chat. So people here, if you're using the Google Chat, try to use the Verbling Chat instead, because people outside can listen and see it.
I see it. A pronunciation is a noun. Is it right?
So read it for me.
Pronunciation.
Well, look at this. You've got ow and ow, like in how now brown cow. This is in pronounce, ounce. We have a unit of measurement called an ounce. Ounce. I don't have an ounce of fat on my body. Ounce. I'm a lean, mean machine. I don't have an ounce of fat. Ow. But look at that word, and it changes its spelling too, and its pronunciation. How do you pronounce pronunciation?
The difference is it one is and one is ow.
Ow and yes, ow and yeah. How do you pronounce pronunciation? Pronunciation is the topic. We are looking at pronunciation, not we are looking at pronunciation. We are trying to pronounce, that's a verb, and we are looking at pronunciation. That's a common mistake.
Oh,
So-
I see. So do you mean it should be in this way? Pronounce and pronounce and pronunciation.
Yes,
Oh, I see.
yes.
Well, very, very, very tiny difference between these two pronunciation.
Well, maybe, but I hear it every time when it's mispronounced. So the verb is ow. But you know, the most common grammatical mistake in China, more common than any, I've got two really common mistakes. So many people make these mistakes. I will write them. I am Chinese. This is the first one. Two mistakes in one, actually.
I see.
Can you see? I am a
You
Chinese.
corrected me last time, I think.
And can you explain why it's wrong and what the problem is? If I say I am a Hungarian, that's okay, because I am a Hungarian is correct. I am a German is good, but I am a French is not good. I am a Chinese is not good. What's the rule
I
there?
know. I remember that. I remember.
No, but are you
that
going to speak to us in a minute? Norby,
Hello?
are you alright? Sorry, I'm just answering Norby. He's not here. He's gone. Okay, so what did you remember about it?
I remember you told us you can say as a Chinese man, or you can say as Chinese, right?
Yes, and it's related to the plural noun. So
Yes, but
we
you
can
can't
say
say as
the
a
French
Chinese.
people, but when we say, or we can say the French, just the French, plural noun. But we can say the German people, and when we say the German, we put an S on the end, the Germans. So that's why we say Chinese for plural. So one is a Chinese man. That's right. And the other one is website. Can can you pass me or give me the link to your web? They say web instead of website. But what do you think about this word web? Any idea about the word web? The web. If I
Web,
say,
is it like is it like net?
it is. It's everything, isn't it? www. The World Wide Web. It's all of it. But in China, people think it means this web, that web. A website is called web very often, and that's another mistake.
Oh, I see.
So maybe you haven't seen that mistake, maybe. So let's take you through the sound check again smoothly for a while. So can you read the sound check for me? The yellow
Which
text.
sound check?
It's on
Yellow text.
Yes.
The whole paragraph?
From please phone all the way to train station.
Okay. Please phone Julian. Ask him to take these things with him on tour. 6 spoons of very fresh juicy peas, 5 thick slices of blue cheese, and maybe a television for his brother Bob. We also need Granddad's small rocking chair and a big toy frog for the kids. He can put these items into Mother's red lunch box, and he could meet us on Wednesday at the train station.
Now, there's one merger I detected, only one, and it's a common one, sometimes called the pull. These two words. One is oo, a bit oo, like pool, and the other one is pull, shorter. He can put, not he can put, he can put. So there's a long oo sound and a sound. He can put, can he put his boots on? Put your boots on. Can you say put your boots on?
Put your boots on.
Yeah, so you can. You just slipped up there. So you see, the problem is when we study pronunciation that sometimes we just make a little mistake, but we know these things. Sometimes we know how to make the sounds, but we don't know a particular word. Sometimes our language interferes with us, and I'm trying to find a complete list. Let me have a look and see if my list again, here it is. Here, and I've added yours, so we've now got 5. So let's have a look. Let me ask somebody to read those 4 and see if they agree with it. So who hasn't spoken yet? We've got Hermine. Are you there, Grigorian?
Yes. Yes.
Thanks for waiting patiently. Sometimes it's a problem getting everybody to speak, and it's easy to miss people waiting patiently. So thank you for that. Beloved. Ah, now that's interesting because sometimes participle adjectives can break that rule about not having ed at the end. Beloved. Yes, that could be one which does that sometimes. Do I pronounce it differently than... Well, I don't know about differently from an American person, but there may be 2 ways, because some participle adjectives do actually break that rule. We say there's no ed. For example, walked is wrong, but it does happen if it's not a verb sometimes, especially if it's, well, yeah, there are some cases, and this one does it sometimes, beloved, but beloved is quite usual. So actually you might hear it sometimes with some words with an ed at the end, but if it's a verb then it shouldn't be. But if it's an adjective it can happen occasionally. But that's all I can say about that. So, Hermine, can you read the 4 rules that I've got here? Number 2 has a spelling mistake, so read it with I learned the.
Okay. Yeah,
all right.
that's okay. The first one, I simply don't know the word and how it should be pronounced.
Brilliant, that's great. Now, let me just say something about that, because can you read these 2? I've just typed them.
Word.
Word
I don't
and
know.
ward, yes. This word is actually mispronounced so many times, but your reading was really lovely. So once more, please.
I simply don't know the word and how it should be pronounced.
Yes, and the. So make sure you catch hold of the th sound, the. So I
I
might.
simply don't know the word and how it should be pronounced.
Yes, so sometimes when you force the, it starts to be too stressed, but you need to look at that later and try to get it clear but not overly cooked. So I simply don't know the word. Really good. Now the next one, number 2.
I learned the word years ago and can't get out of a bad habit of mispronouncing it.
Good. Yes, the word can't has 2 ways. In the north of England and in Scotland and in North America, it's usually can't. Although I think that can't is a useful way of changing the sound from can to can't, because sometimes the only difference between a big sentence might be the difference between can and can't, if the intonation is not good. But usually if you have a big long sentence with can in it and change it to can't, well, if I change it, then you can hear the difference. I can, I can't. But if somebody says I can, I can't, there's just a t difference. So that's why intonation is important too. Make your sound different. If you can do something, yes, I can. No, I can't. So change a little bit your voice up and down. Right, number 3. Could you read number 3 too, as well?
I have a problem making the sounds needed in the word. Oh, this there makes me trouble. Okay.
Right. Now, number 2, there's a word in number 2 which could be different because it's an irregular verb, but sometimes it's a regular verb. Which word am I speaking about?
Bad.
A verb. Bad is not a verb, is it? That's an adjective. So can you find a verb? Which verbs are there in that sentence?
Learned.
Learned, yes, learned. Quite often you see learned. Now Tony, that's a very interesting one, because learned is exactly a case in point about what I was just speaking about. Learned. But if you were in court, somebody might be a learned gentleman, learned, and you can hear ed as an adjective. My learned friend, learned. So sometimes participle adjectives break that rule, but verbs don't have ed, learned. So I learned the word years ago and can't get out of a bad habit. Okay, and the last one.
2 sounds come together in an awkward way for me.
Yeah, this would be awkward, or, like or.
Awkward.
Not but or, awkward. So which of those can you think of as happening to you? Have any of those happened to you? Can they make sense to you?
2 sounds come together. Oh, I don't remember now.
The 2 sounds coming together in an awkward way. I think. Does anyone have any example of that? Jaron, anybody? Maybe consonant sounds at the ending or anything like that. Can anybody think of any example of 2 sounds that come together in an awkward way? I've heard some people have a problem with this one because it has a kt. I walked. What is the difference? What is the different is an adjective. So the difference. What is the difference? What is the difference between states and status? Well, status could be like a rank. Are you high status or low status? State could be a general condition. What state was it in? Oh, it was in a terrible condition. But status is more about the ranking of you. So a high status, a low status, but there isn't really a high state and a low state. Different. So what state, what condition, without regard to hierarchy. But status is much more interested in the hierarchy, high status and low status. And in pronunciation, states and status. Stay, stay. So they both have states. So again, I would say that's probably an example of two sounds coming together in an awkward way. States, states. Now, the way around it is to squash the T. There's a kind of glottal. You don't have to say states. You just say states. There's a kind of glottal. Instead of t, you just states. Let me show you some words. Sometimes it's good to do this, and sometimes it isn't quite correct. So how would you read this, Hermine? How would you read those two words?
Patterned, curtained, curtained.
Sorry, I meant to write it differently. Let me write it again. This is what I meant. Try again.
Patterned curtains.
Yes,
Curtains.
it looks like it's patterned curtains, but actually, first of all, it's not curtains because
Curtains.
there's no curtains. But
Yeah.
if I stress the whole word, I would say curtains. Look at my curtains, stressing the word. But if I'm just running through the word, it's correct as well. It's not incorrect. Sometimes it's incorrect to drop your T's and drop your H's. But if I say here patterned curtains, can you hear what I'm saying? Am I saying t? Patterned curtains? No, I'm not. And it's not bad either. But sometimes if I say little, then it's bad. It's bad English. But if I say little, that I mustn't do it because tull is like a stressed syllable. Tull, little, and little. It doesn't. Even if I don't say t, if I say d or ul, I've got to stress it. Little. But little is too squashed and wrong. So a little bit is not good. Look, you might see Cockney saying this, but it's bad pronunciation. If he says a little bit, that's not good. But patterned curtains is fine. Patterned curtains. So sometimes we don't say t. It just softens up like patterned curtains. It's kind of glottal, it says. Do you know glottal? Like this.
Yeah,
Patterned.
we slow.
It's like swallowed a little bit. Swallowed sound, yes.
Yeah.
Right, so let me take you through the sound check and see if I can find any particular things. Jaron, your sound is really good. I want to get over to Sarah again, but she hasn't. She's been sitting there quietly. Are you still okay, Sarah?
Yes, I'm not.
Good, good. Nice to see you sitting there patiently. Sorry to ignore you for so long. So I'm going to ask Hermine to read it now. So just move to the other page where the checkup is. Could you read it for me?
Yes. So please phone Julian. Ask him to take these things with him on tour. 6 spoons of very fresh juicy peas. 5 thick slices of blue cheese.
Cheese, yes.
And maybe a television for his brother Bob. We also need Granddad's small rocking chair and a big toy frog for the kids. You can put these items,
Yes.
into Mother's red lunch box, and he could meet us on Wednesday at the train station.
Train. Yeah. You see, twice we saw words that you got wrong the first time. Items, and then train. And it doesn't mean that you don't know how to make the sound. So you really know how to make every sound, and you need to practice some smooth reading. And even that you were very good at. So I noticed you read lunchbox, and you stopped a little bit, and then you said red lunchbox. When you have a noun phrase, red lunchbox, it wants to all go together. Red lunchbox. And you did that, and that was nice. So, very good. Very good. And can I ask, Hermine, can you read it through as well?
Yes. Please phone Julian. Ask him to take...
So I'm going to stop you, because phone, O, this is one of the common problems, especially with these two words, most, only. Only, most. Too many people say most, only, and phone. So please phone Julian. Start again, please.
Please phone Julian. Ask him to take these things with him on tour. 6 spoons of very fresh juicy peas, 5 thick slices of blue cheese, and maybe a television for his brother Bob. We also need Granddad's small rocking chair and a big toy frog for the kids. He can put these items into Mother's red lunchbox, and he could meet us on Wednesday at the train station.
Yes, and fresh is a short sound, and sometimes people don't quite get the crispy short sounds. I for him and for fresh. And can you say very fresh?
Very fresh.
Yes, in very you have it clear, and fresh now clear as well. So that was just a little slip the first time round, and that was very nice. So actually everybody's probably a bit too advanced for this class, because we've got all of you really good at English. Georgia is probably a little bit not so advanced as the rest of you, but Georgia, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening also.
Good. Where do you live in Hungary?
I live in a little village in North Hungary.
So is it near Nyíregyháza?
No, no.
Is it
no.
other side?
It's other side. Yeah.
Sopron.
In the near to Balaton, to Balaton Lake Balaton.
And is it near Veszprém?
Veszprém.
60
kilometer Veszprém
from Veszprém.
Yes.
And do you like living there?
Yes.
And I guess you have some hills.
I would avoid my introduction as why do I want to learn English? I purchased the satellite antenna. I purchased a satellite antenna in 20.
I purchased a satellite antenna.
Satellite antenna in 2012. I watch English TV from Tokyo, Baghdad, Jerusalem, Beijing, and the Pentagon Channel from Washington. I listen to
Washington, not Washington, Washington.
Washington. I listen to the BBC radio, and I read the CNN, BBC, the New York Times online on internet. I have different learning programs and dictionary with Sand. They are free on computer. I would like also I have a German English learning CD. There are 11 CDs for beginners for European language certificate. I take everyday English exercise, but I speak too little. I would like to know more. I would like to more about the world, how the people live, work, enjoy, and so on. I am interested in technology, research, politic and
I'm interested. I'm interesting. It is interesting. I am interested.
I'm interested in technology, research, politics, and
Politics.
politics.
Some
and
things have an S on the end. Politics, physics, maths in English does, but in America it's math. But some things have politics.
politics. No.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's good. So, okay. Well, let's see if I can say hello to Jakub. Are you here, Jakub Murar?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, he's here. Let me ask you, Jakub, what do you think about English pronunciation? What for you is difficult about it, if anything?
Yeah.
Jakub.
Yeah.
Really, I'm now going to your class.
And so what would be, in your view, in your opinion, what is the most difficult thing about English?
About what?
About learning English.
Yes, I want to learn English. I would like to learn English.
And what do you think is difficult about English? Is there any difficulty?
What is difficult?
What is the problem with learning
Yes,
English? Is it pronunciation or is it...
No, not pronunciation. About conversation, making conversation with somebody.
And why is that difficult?
Because I live in Arabic country, okay? Nobody speaks English. That's a big problem for me to learn English.
So it's a practical problem, really. Just a practical problem, finding somebody to
Yeah.
practice with.
Yes, practical problem.
Yes.
Yes. So you don't think there are any particular problems except for this main practical problem, finding people. You know, on Verbling, you can
Yeah.
find somebody to practice with. You can have a one-to-one conversation.
Yeah, I know it. I know that.
Good. Have you tried? Have you ever tried
Yes,
it?
I'm tried, but I don't know. Yes, I'm tried, but I don't find partner to make conversation with.
Okay, well, I hope you can try again. I tried once or twice, but I've been busy with the lessons, so I don't have too much time for that. But I have other things to do. But I've tried it once. Who else has tried Verbling Partner?
I tried, but it's difficult to find someone. It's true.
Oh, and have you
I
ever?
tried too.
So everyone's trying. That's good. Yes, I
And
think.
also the connection is not very good there. So sometimes we go on another on Skype to have a better connection to can understand better.
Well, I think soon I'm going to have a lesson about some of the very difficult words. Some of those words which are quite difficult because you have to learn these words because they're strange. Their spelling is a little strange. Do you know any words which are very strange in spelling, Sarah? You're muted, I think.
I didn't. Yes, I didn't hear your question.
I would like everybody to think about words in English which are quite strange in their spelling. Words that are spelt so that you don't know exactly how to pronounce them.
I saw just before CITE.
Cite, C-I-T-E, cite, yes, to cite something, to quote something, to cite something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's one. Any others? Here's the beginning, and we will do this another time, but let me just show you the beginning of this. Can you see on the screen here?
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hello, Kyle. We're just about to finish now, but maybe you can read that for me, Kyle. Can you read the screen for me?
Okay. Have I to put my cam home?
Yes. Can you read the screen?
Because I have my cam offline for now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're finished now, actually. This is the end of this lesson, and I'm just showing you what's coming.
Okay, I understand. Don't worry. But I'm here for the first time, so...
Well, it's great to meet you. Great to meet you. So join the next lesson, which is about to start, and this is the beginning of a poem, which I will do another time. And please, everybody, don't forget that before you join the next lesson, you can join my Facebook group too.
Okay.
So, the Facebook group that I have for Verbeling students is here.
We can look at your lesson on your profile page, right?
Yes, you can, and you can look at all of the old lessons as well. Cough, yes, C-O-U-G-H, cough. Dearest creature in creation, study English pronunciation. I will teach you in this verse, which sounds like corpse, core, horse, and worse. So that's a tricky poem, and there's more of it, lots more. So I'll finish now, say goodbye to you all, and we'll meet again.
Bye-bye, Leo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leo.
Vi sånt lät det.
Vi sånt lät det. Bye.
Can I join